Yes.
And we are live here at the Edison Hotel, second floor. If you're looking for us, you got to tell the attendant, I'm going to meet Bruce Porter. All right, and I'll let you up. So I have with me here Eylon Aviv. He is with Collider. Collider is a venture capital company, a firm, and we were just kind of talking off camera about all the exciting things and the exciting space we have. So tell me a little bit, Eylon, about Collider and what brought you here to NFT NYC.
Okay. So first of all, a little bit about Collider. We started as a boutique venture fund out of Israel. All the general partners have been either angel investing or working with, early stage crypto startups for a while. Decided to sort of like band together and help push sort of like this whole crypto revolution horizontally, supporting founders and startups from all over. I joined about a year and a half ago. And what brings me to NFT NYC, I spoke earlier about sort of like the shift that NFTs are going to bring to crypto markets. I'm here to like get with the community, talk to people. My brain works from conversation. I learn through conversation, and so yeah.
Well, that's really interesting. You bring up the conversation part, and I won't dwell on it so much, but interviewing people over the years has been one of the most interesting ways or most positive ways that I have learned.
Yeah.
Because of course I sit down and talk to people for a few minutes. I have to think on my feet, but also I have to dissect what the person said. And sometimes what they say doesn't you're like, oh man, let me what was that again? And sometimes you find it really high level, and they're lost and not used to explaining stuff. So really interesting. So let's talk a little bit about what Collider does. What type of projects do you guys invest
in? So we invest generally in crypto. The way Collider is sort of structured and kind of happened by its own is that each member sort of chooses a rabbit hole. I guess some of the people here would know you cannot be on top of everything in crypto. So each person sort of gravitates towards the rabbit hole and becomes an expert in that, and brings their thoughts and ideas to it, and they would probably be the one most focused on doing due diligence for a said company in a certain rabbit hole. My focus is kind of with governance and NFTs, our approach is very hands-on. We like to say that it's not just capital that we're putting in; we're also putting some sweat equity, and we like to work with founders. And I mean, I made a transition about a year and a half ago from entrepreneurship to investing, and for me, it's great because I can still, be with the founders, be with the startups, and help them do things. Just as an example, we've had portfolio companies that is composed essentially of 5 or 6 engineers, and they don't have anyone with the literary skills or someone who can explain what they're doing. And this was I want to say I guess tedious work with them to really build the story and communicate what they're doing outside. And this was basically me doing, and it feels good. It feels good to be like a part of the company, not just investing in them and telling them what to do. And I think this is crypto venture funds who are not going to be doing this are just not going to stay, because there's just a lot of money. Everybody has money. Everybody became rich the past 2 years. So yeah,
very, very cool. And where are you based?
I'm based in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Nice.
Yeah.
How is it there? Do you have to quarantine? Because we just had actually an event in Dubai, and there's normally a big contingent of people that come from Israel, but they didn't come because they had facing a 14-day quarantine when they returned. Is that?
Oh no, I don't. I mean, I hope not. So we didn't have to quarantine on the way here, and didn't have to quarantine the way back. I got vaccinated, so if they're kind of waiving that privilege to come back, and then
as long as you get the shot.
Yeah, if you're vaccinated, then you don't have to quarantine. And then if you aren't, then yeah.
We're not going to get into that.
No.
Half of my audience is more than half is one way, and the other.
Yeah, it's going to rattle some people, but yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about NFTs. We're talking about blockchain. We're talking about Collider. So, how long have you guys been in business?
So the first fund was started in 2018, and we're now closing up that fund, and we're raising another fund. We're raising $100 million for to continue to invest in the ecosystem. Yeah.
And how much is your normal investment?
So probably the minimum would be between, I mean, let's say $500,000 would probably be the minimum. We could go down lower because some of these rounds these days in crypto, they want to get as many investors as they can, which is understandable. We could probably go lower, but that's usually the minimum. And then if we're leading around, we could go up to like, $2.5, $3.5 million, depending on the product, the project, the people.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So when you come to an event like this, what is your biggest objective? Are you looking for people to invest into the fund, or are you looking for different projects?
I'm just looking to talk to people. I'm looking to speak to other VCs and get deal flow from them, share deal flow with them. I'm looking to. So I met some of our portfolio companies here, which some of them we haven't met for like the past year and a half, which is great. Also talking to startups. I met a couple of interesting startups. I'm going to be following up with them afterwards.
Sure.
And yeah, it's great. I like just speaking to anyone at the community. Everyone has an awesome perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you were on stage, or you're going to be on stage?
I was on stage yesterday.
Okay. What were you talking about?
Basically about how a very powerful meme that we have created, and then this is if like the browser was the gateway to Web 1 and Google and Facebook were the gateway to Web 2, NFTs are going to be the gateway to Web 3. This is how mainstream are going to understand crypto, decentralization, decentralized applications, and it's just a framework to understand. And I think it's very revolutionary from like an emotional, conceptual way. So yeah.
Well, it's really cool. I appreciate you coming on. What's the website? How do people find you guys?
So collider.vc, and you can find and it's gonna go through a revamp very soon. And you can find me on Twitter. It's the Eylon, like TheEylon. And yeah, happy to chat, talk. If you're around here, find me. I got the school shirt.
You can't miss them, guys. It's like we have Rango here.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Hey, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.